I was pleased with how we played. This is a really good team. Obviously, a historic college basketball program. Blue blood. They're super talented, well coached. They play at a pace that is unlike many that you'll see, and that poses a lot of challenges. But I was proud of my team and how hard they competed. I've seen those 20-point games go to 38, and we found a way to kind of keep playing, and we weren't just throwing in miracle shots. We were playing together, and we were getting good looks. And there's not many ball screen read passers like Cadeau. He's one of the best I've seen, and in the second half, he really took advantage of us. Just reading all that stuff, and we didn't do a good enough job pulling in on that weak side, and I was able to find those guys. I think sometimes you can get away with it a little bit if the guy's not just an absolute dime guy out of it, and he did a great job getting the ball to those guys to finish at the rim. But I think we learned a lot about ourselves. Our last time out, we weren't really good, and I thought we played like a team that was ready to be good. We got conference play coming up and a lot of opportunity in front of us. I said to the team, we're 0-0 now. Doesn't matter what we had in the non-con. Would you like to be sitting at 8-5? Sure. Do we have some opportunities to make that happen? 100%. But at this point, it's just about moving forward, learning from our experiences, and trying to continue to improve to take on the CAA.
Expand on that for me a little bit. What did you learn about this team in this non-conference? This is a great way to head right into conference play. What did you learn about this team this year so far?
I think our biggest struggle has been just consistency. And so coming out, that was one of the things that we're trying to address coming out of our last outing. And when I consistency, I think part of that is being able to respond to adversity in game, like not let things snowball on us, and be able to reset and move on to the next play, and collectively pick ourselves up and stay organized and stay together and play right. So I thought today was a good step in that direction, because obviously this is an environment where it can really get away.
No Taryn, obviously, unfortunately, but he's been really good in that spot, and I think you guys were able to respond. Talk about how that 5 spot was really important tonight, and how that was an adjustment, and how you guys worked through that.
Well, Colby's been playing it a fair amount, and he probably was better in this game because of the way they were defending. He was able to make some pop threes early that kind of got him going, and he was super aggressive going to the rim. Taryn's game would have looked different if he was in there, just because he can make a three, but he's not that prolific to where he's going to get off a bunch to be a real threat consistently. And so he would do some more work inside probably. And Colby did a lot of his as facing up. And I thought we saw a couple. We were able to get a couple possessions with Caleb in there too, and I thought he did decent. There's a learning curve there. We're going to have to get him up to speed to help us. But it does provide some flexibility with what we're able to do defensively also. So, which actually came into play in this game. We were able to do some X5 stuff, some switching. So, I think it does open up some possibilities of some exciting and different things that we're able to do. As much as we'll be glad to have Taryn back when we get him.
How important are these games for a program to be able to play? Never playing North Carolina before, right? Obviously, a storied area in Tobacco Road here.
Yeah.
How important are these games just as a coach and building a program?
I think it's great. I think it's exciting. We obviously had a bunch of fans and folks that are invested in our program that were able to come and be a part of this environment, this experience. I'm actually surprised that we haven't played them before. And I don't remember in scheduling, like why that happened while I was the coach, but I'm surprised that in the history that it hasn't happened. But yeah, it was it's a pretty cool environment. They definitely are behind their Tar Heels. So now I've coached at Fogg, Cameron here. Those are some pretty darn good ones. We could try to get to Bloomington.
Yeah, Coach, you told me at the beginning of the year, you said Kobe Dugan took massive steps from his freshman year to his sophomore year. I think tonight we saw what you were seeing in practice. Just tell me how impressed you were with his performance tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit, you get a little bit spoiled because you see it every day. Just that he plays so hard and competes, and he's kind of all about the right stuff. He's was elected a captain as a sophomore, and that doesn't happen. It's not like he had this sensational freshman year to where it was like, oh, well, he's the next guy. It's because of his makeup and how he goes about his business and all that stuff. And he worked so hard in the off season, then he had an early injury, and it kind of set him back a little bit. And he's just kept coming. He's just kept coming. I think what I was impressed with, in our last outing, he got absolutely hammered, split his chin open, broke a tooth, and didn't miss it. I mean, he went out to stop the bleeding, and then he was back in and finished the game. I think that said a lot about who he is, and I think that same grit and toughness showed up today, minus the blood and dental work. But he was able to really attack the game like required to compete against this level of team. I think he brought some guys with him a bit, and obviously to win that, you're probably going to need 5 or 6 that are coming at that level. But he was super competitive, attacked the rim, was fearless. I would say, just basically played a fearless style of game, which, when the officials are watching and, they see that, I think it translates to, you're going to get a call because you're not on your heels or, you know what I mean? Like you're on balance, you're attacking, you're being aggressive. I think that played for him.
Two things that don't necessarily translate to the stat sheet, but one, how much Nolan Dorsey means to your defensive effort and what you try to do defensively in your scheme. And two, being the team 8th in the country right now, and free throw percentage. Rocky Goodmanson not missing a free throw this entire season on 31 attempts. What do those two things really add to your team to make you formidable coming in conference play?
Yeah. First of all, Nolan's a terrific player and defender. He takes great pride in his defense. I think that's a huge part of why he's so successful. There's some toughness there. And he takes some real pride in being a guy that can guard people and wants to take on the toughest assignment and all that kind of stuff. And he's going to be critically important for us going forward. I think it was last week, a week before, he was CAA Player of the Week. He had a great offensive week to go along with his defense. It's tough to pinpoint him today when we get up 97, but, he really is critically important. And then we've shot the ball from the free throw line really well all year, and I'm always surprised when, kind of when we miss. It's important to, the fact that we walked into the Smith Center and we shot 20 free throws and they shot 20 free throws, I think says a lot about how we played the game. I think it just says a lot about how we played. The fact that we were even at the line, and then we have been one of the better free throw shooting teams. I'm hoping that continues. Bragi, he hasn't got one in a little while, but another 4-for-4 night for him. So,
one more quick one for you.
Yeah, last one here for you, Coach. Literally, the difference on the stat sheet is that Carolina made more buckets than you did. That's literally the difference on the stat sheet in this game tonight.
Yeah.
What does that say about your team, your program going into conference play and what you want to achieve?
Well, two things I'd say on that. One, the reason that's possible is because 15 assists, seven turnovers allowed that to be an even number, right? Because we didn't just throw the ball to them. And then we rebounded relatively competitively with them. I mean, we had 9 offensive rebounds, they had 8. Okay, so that allowed the possessions to be more normal. Like this kind of game, I bet you if you go back and pull up the Ohio State box score,
Yeah.
it's like they shot 70 shots and we shot 52,
Yeah.
something like that. And it's like, well, that's really hard to overcome. All right, so I think continuing to take care of the basketball. But I think for us, it's all about just mentality and toughness and really staying together and fighting through all this stuff that is the ups and downs of college basketball. College basketball is a hard game, and we have to sort of realize and accept that. And whether that's, outcomes or an official's call or, a missed shot or a coach being on you, whatever, we have to be able to figure out how to work through in the moment collectively to move on to the next play and be great again, or whatever. And we said that going in is like, next play mentality is not just on, failure plays, like negative plays. It's also on positive plays. Like if you get so excited when you make a 3 and you run back half-heartedly and they skip the ball over your head and the next one and it's a dunk, what good is it? We got to be on that next play mentality all the time.